What if I told you that the very thing you do to keep her close might be the reason she pulls away? That the more you give, the more invisible you become. It's a brutal truth, one that has left countless men confused, frustrated, and heartbroken. They show up, they give their best, they make their intentions clear, yet somehow they end up being taken for granted, or worse, replaced. But here's where it gets interesting. What if there was a switch, one hidden deep in human psychology, that could make her fear losing you? Not through games, not through manipulation, but through a raw, undeniable truth about how the mind values what it might lose. In this video, you'll learn the secret force that keeps a woman drawn to you, why certainty kills attraction, and how a man of substance holds power without ever needing to beg for it. Stay with me until the end, because once you understand this, you'll never look at relationships the same way again. Welcome to NeuroVista. If you're ready to step into your power, subscribe now. Let's begin. A man must understand the nature of desire. It does not grow in comfort. It does not thrive in certainty. The mind does not yearn for what it already possesses. It longs for what it might lose. Consider this. A traveler walking through a market barely notices the air around him. It is abundant, expected, always there. But if that air were to thin, if he were to gasp for breath, suddenly nothing else would matter. The same law governs human attraction. People do not chase what is easily held. They chase what feels just beyond their grasp. The poet speaks of love like a flame, but a flame only dances when it is fed with space and air. Hold it too tightly, and it suffocates. A man who is always there, always available, becomes like background noise, present but unnoticed. He believes his devotion will earn him love, yet all it earns him is indifference, because what is constant is rarely valued. What is given freely is rarely kept. She must feel at times the space where you once stood, the absence that makes the present sweeter, not as a game, not as a strategy, but as a simple truth of human nature. The heart holds tightest to what it fears it may lose. The power of scarcity. Why less is more? A man must ask himself, what is my time worth? For that which is abundant is rarely treasured. Water is precious in the desert, but ignored by those who live by the river. The same is true of a man's presence. If it is always given, it loses its weight. Consider the rarest of gems, guarded, sought after, never easily obtained. It is not simply its beauty that makes it valuable, but its scarcity. A man who gives his time and energy without measure, who is always at her call, becomes like the air, necessary but unnoticed. This is the fate of the man who confuses love with availability. He believes that by being present at every moment, he will secure his place in her heart. But what he does not see is the slow erosion of value. The more he gives without restraint, the more he becomes expected. And what is expected is never truly desired. Desire lives in the unknown, in the anticipation of what is not yet given. A man who understands this does not withhold his presence to play games. He does so because he values himself, because he knows that his time, his energy, his presence must be earned. He does not chase. He does not beg. He moves with purpose, and his absence is felt as deeply as his presence. For true attraction does not grow in constant exposure. It grows in the space between presence and absence. In the moments where she wonders, where has he gone? And in the realization that his time is not a gift handed to all, but a treasure reserved for those who truly deserve it. Self-possession, the foundation of true influence. A man who is centered in himself does not seek validation. He does not stretch out his hands, hoping someone will place worth upon them. His value is not up for debate, nor does he feel the need to prove it. It is there, evident in his presence, in the way he moves, in the way he speaks, not with urgency, but with certainty. A man like this is rare. The world is filled with those who chase, who seek approval, who twist themselves to fit the desires of others. But a man of self-possession doesn't bend to be chosen. He is the one who chooses. There is a quiet gravity to him. He doesn't need to be the loudest voice in the room, nor does he need to demand attention. He simply exists in a way that makes others take notice. Women feel it, other men respect it, and without ever uttering a word, he commands a presence that cannot be ignored. This is the foundation of true influence, not persuasion, not tactics, but a deep and unwavering sense of self. He is not desperate to be kept, and that is why people fear losing him. For what is always grasping, always reaching, can be dismissed. But what stands firm, unshaken, creates an unspoken question in the mind of others. What does he know that I do not? It is this mystery, this silent confidence that draws people in, because strength is not in the need to be seen, but in the ability to walk away. A man who belongs to himself first will never have to beg for a place in someone else's life. The strength of a man who can walk away. A man's greatest strength is not in his words, nor in his ability to persuade. It is in his ability to walk away, not as a test, not as manipulation, but because he refuses to stay where he is not valued. He does not beg for a place in someone's life. He does not plead to be chosen. He simply knows his worth, and that alone changes everything. A man who can walk away is a man who cannot be controlled. He is not bound by fear, the fear of rejection, of being alone, of losing someone who does not see his value. He is free, and in that freedom he becomes more desirable than the man who clings, who chases, who cannot bear the thought of letting go. A woman senses this. She feels the difference between a man who needs her approval and a man who wants her, but does not require her. The first is replaceable. The second is unforgettable, because what is scarce is valuable. And a man who values himself is not found in abundance. He does not stay where he is tolerated. He does not overstay his welcome. He walks away, not to punish, not to prove a point, but because his time is too precious to be wasted where it is not cherished. And that is where fear begins. Not fear of loss in the shallow sense, but the deep, unsettling realization that a man like this will not come again, that once he is gone, he is truly gone. The ultimate power is not in convincing someone to stay. It is in making it clear that you never needed to stay in the first place. The balance of giving and withholding. A man must understand the weight of his presence. Give too little, and you become a stranger. Give too much, and you become the background noise of her life, present but unnoticed. This is the art of giving and withholding, not as a trick, not as a game, but as a reflection of self-respect. A man who offers all of himself without measure, who is always available, always eager, is a man whose presence begins to lose its meaning. That which is always present is eventually unseen. Consider the sunrise. It happens every morning, yet few stop to admire it, not because it lacks beauty, but because it is expected. It asks for nothing, demands nothing, and so it goes unnoticed. But the rare sunset, painted in colors that vanish too soon, that is what people chase, because they know it will not last. A man must be the same. He must give enough to build connection, to spark desire, to make his presence felt. But he must also know when to step back, when to withdraw, when to let absence do the work that presence alone cannot. A woman must wonder. She must feel the difference between having you and missing you. This contrast, this delicate balance, is what makes a man unforgettable. He is not the man who is always waiting, always within reach. He is the man who walks his own path, who gives when it is meaningful, and withdraws when it is necessary. And in that space between presence and absence, in the moments where she wonders when she will feel him again, that is where true desire is born. Emotional certainty. Why she must never feel too secure. A man who is fully known is a man easily forgotten. If she is too certain of you, if she believes she has unraveled every layer, answered every question, mapped every inch of your soul, she will no longer feel the pull of curiosity. And where curiosity fades, so does desire. This is not about deception. It is about depth. A man must not be a book that can be read in one sitting, every page predictable, every chapter laid bare. He must be a story that unfolds slowly, with twists unseen, with secrets that whisper instead of shout. Women are drawn to certainty in many things, but not in attraction. What is fully secured is never truly valued. It is the unknown, the unresolved, the what is he thinking that lingers in the mind. The man who reveals too much, too soon, makes himself predictable. And predictability is the death of passion. Look at history. The most compelling figures were not those who gave everything away, but those who carried a quiet enigma about them. The men whose thoughts could not be fully grasped, whose presence carried an energy that could not be tamed. A woman must feel secure in your character, in your strength, but never so secure in your emotions that she believes she has full control. She must never think she has fully figured you out. There must always be a layer of you left untouched, a part of your mind, your soul, your essence that remains just beyond reach. Because a man who holds on to his mystery is a man who is never forgotten. Be the man who is chosen, not chased. A man of substance does not chase. He does not beg. He does not fear losing anyone because he knows his worth is not up for debate. Women do not truly desire what is given freely. They long for what feels just beyond reach. The moment you stop proving yourself is the moment they start proving themselves to you. The moment you stop running toward her is the moment she starts fearing you'll walk away. This is not arrogance. This is not a trick. This is self-respect. The men who leave a mark on this world are not the ones who seek approval. They are the ones who stand firm, move with purpose, and let the world decide whether it is worthy of them. And that's the man you were meant to be. A man who does not need to be chased, because he is the one who is chosen. If these words resonated with you, if you felt something shift inside you, don't just leave. Elevate yourself. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Step into a world where men move with wisdom, with purpose, with power. Because the next time you see our videos, you won't just be watching, you'll be transforming.